Erik ten Hag will reportedly leave Manchester United at the end of the season, according to a Tier 1 Italian journalist. He's also revealed a replacement shortlist as well. So we're going to be mainly focusing on this evening's show. But before we get into that, please smash a like on this evening's video. Let's go for 250 likes on tonight's show. And also make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. We'll be live throughout the whole transfer window. We'll have a show for you in the morning. We'll have a show for you in the evening. So if you are a Man United fan, if you do like all the latest transfer news and all the rest of it, make sure you get involved. It doesn't cost you any money. Make sure you go and subscribe now. So yeah, this story has caught me by surprise a little bit, to be honest. I wasn't really expecting it to be broken so soon, but the headline is coming out from DiMarzio. Used to be one of the best journalists in world football. He really, really did. Fabrizio Romano used to work for DiMarzio back when he started out. DiMarzio has got 1.8 million followers on Twitter. He is an Italian journalist. I think he works for Sky Sports in Italy. And he is reporting this evening that Erik ten Hag is set to leave Manchester United this summer. Apparently the decision's been made. That's what he's saying. He is reliable. He is. But is he as reliable as a David Ornstein or a Fabrizio Romano? Probably not. Fabrizio Romano has also come out in the last couple of minutes as well. He's just done a video saying that Erik ten Hag's future is completely open and there is now a real possibility that he could leave the club this summer. So Fabrizio's kind of said the same thing, but with a little bit more caution, let's say. A little bit more room for error. He's not nailing himself to the cross, if you like. He's not saying 100% he's gone, he's leaving. He's saying that there is a strong possibility that he's going to leave, you know? So he's kind of approaching it with caution. But there are more and more journalists, as we're talking now, coming out with these kind of similar stories that Erik ten Hag will leave effectively after the FA Cup final against Man City on Saturday. I think that's the wrong decision personally, but obviously if Ineos think that's the right decision, we have to trust them. Until Ineos do something wrong and it backfires, I'll trust them. That's how it should work in any form of life. I know you can be cautious. I know you can be hesitant. I know you can have concerns and worries. But so far, we have no reason to doubt Ineos. They've come in. They've got rid of John Murtagh. They've got rid of Ed Woodward. They've removed Darren Fletcher as the technical director. They've got Man City CEO coming into our club. They've got Newcastle's director of football. They've got Jason Wilcox, who was at Man City, brought through people like Foden, amongst other people, when he was the head of the academy. So far, they've done a really, really good job. And to this point, obviously, we can all have our own opinions. But if Ineos decide that Erik ten Hag isn't the right man for their project, I will actually back them. I will. And I know some people are like, oh, you always back Erik ten Hag. You know, why do you never criticise him? My personal preference is that Erik ten Hag stays. But I'm merely a man sat in his room, in his house, in front of a camera, giving his opinion. I don't have any involvement in the running of Manchester United. I don't have a stake in Manchester United. I don't have money invested in Manchester United. You know, Ineos have put billions of pounds into Manchester United just to have a say of the footballing side of things, right? And if their project, which they're building, they don't see Erik ten Hag as the man for it, I'll support them. I will. I personally think that's wrong, but I will support their decision and I will back their decision. And until they prove me wrong, I will support them, because that's how we should work as football fans. We should always support the team. We should support the manager. We should support the players where we can. And we should support the owners where we can. Until they do something wrong, we should give them the benefit of the doubt. And it's really, really difficult to kind of see where this story is going to end up. We will talk about, you know, who is heavily linked to the club. Obviously, we've got a poll running as well. For anybody who's watching the video live, you can get involved in the poll. The question is simple. Who do you want to replace Erik ten Hag? We've got 4 options. You've got Roberto De Zerbi, Kieran McKenna, Mauricio Pochettino, and Thomas Tuchel. Those are the 4 top targets at the moment. Apparently, Gareth Southgate and Graham Potter aren't actually seriously being considered as it stands. So those 4 are the top options. Apparently, Chelsea are trying to get Kieran McKenna. Apparently, Brighton are trying to get Kieran McKenna. So there is a really, really big demand for managers at the moment. Brighton need a manager. Chelsea need a manager. Man United probably need a manager. Bayern Munich need a manager. Barcelona probably need a manager. Like, there are 4 or 5 top clubs who are looking for a manager. Let's see what people are saying in the chat quickly. Everyone who's just joined, by the way, please smash a like on the video. It doesn't cost you any money. It really helps to bring more people into the channel. It helps us to do bigger and better things. So if this is your first time watching, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and make sure you subscribe as well. It doesn't cost any money, so please help out the channel and do that. I'm going to have a look in the live chat now and read out some of you guys' opinions. Fred says, do you think Poch is the right man for the job? I don't think so. I don't think Poch is the right man for the job. Poch is leaving Chelsea because apparently he's not having enough say on transfers and stuff. He's not going to get that at Man United. Somebody in the comments says, Erik ten Hag deserves another 2 years to prove himself. I'm with you, mate, 100%. I think he does deserve at least 1, maybe 2 more years. Arteta was absolutely dreadful for his first 3 seasons at Arsenal. He finished 8th, and I think 6th in his first 3 seasons. Arteta only got Champions League football in his 4th season at Arsenal. Let that sink in for a minute. He was there for 4 years until he got any European, well, till he got Champions League, which is really, really bad, isn't it? Somebody says Dan Ashworth was the wrong decision and poor management. Fair enough. Okay, I hadn't really thought about that. I'm back, baby says it looks like McKenna's going to go to Brighton. Yes. Somebody says De Zerbi is not a yes man. It will be Potter or Southgate. I don't think so, mate. Graham Potter went to Chelsea and failed, and Gareth Southgate is the manager of England. Gareth Southgate's not going to be available until mid-July. So I think it's unlikely that it'll be either of those people personally, but we can always wait and see. Somebody in the comments is saying that apparently De Zerbi looks like he might go to Barcelona. I've not heard that. Oh yeah, I forgot Juventus need a manager as well, don't they? But yeah, so Damasio goes on to say that apparently the 4 candidates to replace Erik ten Hag are Kieran McKenna, Roberto De Zerbi, Mauricio Pochettino, and Thomas Tuchel. Those are the 4 kind of leading candidates. I'll be honest with you guys. None of them excite me. I'll be completely honest. But like I said, we've got to somewhat have faith in Ineos, because until they prove us wrong, I think it's a little bit harsh to we can be cautious of their decisions. We can question their decisions, but until they do something really, really wrong, I think we've got to give them the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, let's see what else people are saying in the chat quickly. Lumen says, Kieran, maybe Erik ten Hag wants out himself. Yeah, mate, I think you're actually right there. I think the likelihood of this situation is that Erik ten Hag probably thinks I could go to Bayern, I could go to Barcelona, I could go to Ajax. He could go to another club and probably have a better chance at being the manager we know he is. Whereas at Man United, he's always going to be seen as... He's always going to struggle, I think. I just think he will. I think we're in such a bad place. You know, Erik ten Hag could go to Barcelona or go to Bayern Munich, and you would instantly see a better team than what we've seen at Man United, purely because of their playing, the playing staff, their philosophy that they already have ingrained throughout the youth system and all the rest of it. Daniel says, I think this is a leak from Erik ten Hag's camp. Yeah, the thing you have to remember here, right? The wording of this is not that Erik ten Hag is going to be sacked. Just to be very, very clear. Okay? It's that Erik ten Hag will leave Manchester United. And what that implies to me is that it would be on mutual consent. Because the story isn't that Erik ten Hag's going to be sacked. They're saying that Erik ten Hag's going to leave. So it'll probably be similar to what's happened with Chelsea and Poch. That they'll have sat down together, they'll have reviewed the season, they'll talk about their plans. Ineos will probably say to Erik ten Hag, you're not going to have any say on the transfers. You're going to have to play the style of football we want. You're going to have to achieve this. You're going to have to do that. And then Erik ten Hag will probably say, no, I want to sign this player and that player. I want to pick the players. I want to, he'll, and I think that there'll be some sort of disagreement and it will be a mutual decision. Ineos wants somebody who can come in and will just do whatever they say. And Erik ten Hag's probably not willing to do that because his reputation's already on the line, right? And if he gives away more authority to Ineos and then it backfires, he's going to look like an even worse manager than he does already at the moment. Whereas he could go to Barcelona or to Bayern Munich or to one of these other clubs and he'll probably do really well immediately. Just take this in for a second, right? Vincent Kompany is the number one favourite to become the Bayern Munich manager. Just let that sink in for a minute. Vincent Kompany. He hasn't won anything. Well, he won the championship 2 seasons ago. He's just got relegated from the Premier League. Imagine if Erik ten Hag is available. He would immediately be the number one target for Bayern Munich. He'll go there. He'll do well. He's got Harry Kane, who he wanted to sign in the summer. He's got Kim Min-jae, who he wanted to sign in the summer. He'll have De Ligt, who he wanted to sign. He'll have like probably 4 or 5 players that he wanted to sign already. Apparently, Bayern Munich are going to go for Frankie de Jong as well. Like, it's written in the stars that Erik ten Hag at Bayern Munich would work perfectly. He's going to have half of the first team starting squad for Bayern Munich are players that Erik ten Hag wanted, or even Erik ten Hag players that he's managed at Ajax. So he could go there and do amazingly, and I think he actually would. Royden says De Zerbi will go to AC Milan. Yeah, it's a possibility. You will have to wait and see. Fred says, if the next manager fails, will Ineos lose the fans? Maybe. I don't know, mate. It's really difficult to predict, how fans are feeling. Alan says, if Erik ten Hag's had enough, then I can't be surprised. This club is rotten to the core. Well done, the Glazers. Yeah, I agree with you, mate. I in some ways, looking at it from Erik ten Hag's perspective, I think he should just go. I think he should leave on mutual consent, go and get the job at Bayern Munich or at Barca, probably do incredibly, and we'll all be sat here looking like idiots in a year's time when he's, won the Bundesliga, is in a Champions League final, and we'll all be sat here with like Graham Potter as our manager or Roberto De Zerbi will be battling for 5th or 6th, saying it's a process, give the manager time, give him 2 years. He hasn't got his players yet. Somebody's injured. We'll be making up excuses for the manager because as a fan base, we stick behind the managers. I saw Chelsea fans saying Poch should be sacked after like 2 games. Literally. If you look back, right, there are high-profile Chelsea fans who were asking for Poch to be sacked in August. Like, they wanted him out immediately after he lost a couple of fixtures. You've seen what our fans are like. You've seen what the away fans are like, singing Erik ten Hag's name. Literally, even when we lose badly after Crystal Palace, they're singing Erik ten Hag's name. We've got the best supporters in the world. We've got the most patient supporters in the world. And I think that Erik ten Hag effectively could go somewhere else and would do absolutely incredibly. And we'll be sat here looking like absolute fools. All the people screaming at the camera, sack Erik ten Hag, get him out. He's not very good. He's a PE teacher, whatever. Bold fraud. You hear all these people saying things and it's like, you just need to stop for a second, take a deep breath and actually think about what's going to happen if we get rid of Erik ten Hag, about who's going to come in. I mean, Roberto De Zerbi might come in and he might do really well. Kieran McKenna might come in and he do really well. Poch might come in and he might do really well. But there's absolutely no guarantee with any of these managers that they're going to come in and succeed. None of them are serial winners, in my opinion. None of them. Roberto De Zerbi isn't, Kieran McKenna isn't, and Poch isn't. Thomas Tuchel, I think you could maybe argue that he's a serial winner. Obviously, he's won Champions Leagues. He's won lots of league titles. He's definitely a winner. Whereas none of the others are serial winners. They're not. Like, can you genuinely sit at home this evening and tell me that De Zerbi, McKenna or Poch are serial winners? Because they really aren't. De Zerbi has done well at Brighton, but had a poor season last year. McKenna's literally only in his second year of proper management at Ipswich. And Poch is, well, he's just been effectively let go by Chelsea. They don't think he's good enough. He was let go by PSG. Alan says the bigger picture is how many of these players do you think will actually get another chance, though? Mate, 100%. That's one of my biggest fears. It really, really is. Like, I just fear that, De Zerbi will come in and half of this squad that need to be sold will get another go. Ineos will decide that it's cheaper to keep players and to give them new contracts than it is to try and sell them for a loss and bring in new people. Now, that might work. Maybe Sancho comes back and he's player of the season next year and we win the Premier League. But it's unlikely, isn't it, realistically? The likelihood option is these players will come back, like a Sancho will come back and they'll play well for one season. And then the year after, it will be the same stories, turning up late for training, bad attitude, and we'll be back where we start. We need a complete reset. Yeah, I mean, there's another story coming out here from a very, very reliable journalist in the UK saying that apparently Poch is interested in talking to Manchester United if they do decide to part ways with Erik ten Hag. So Poch is desperately waiting for the job. We know that Poch was the other contender to get the job when Erik ten Hag got the job. It was either Erik ten Hag or Poch 2 years ago. We know that Ineos really like Poch. They tried to get him at Nice. So I feel like it's written in the stars, to be honest. Big up to Fred, who's just gifted 5 memberships to the Daily Red Devil Members Club. Thank you for all of your support, my friend. I really, really do appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. Everyone who's just been given a membership by Fred, make sure you say thank you to him in the chat. Yeah, really, again, mate, thank you for your support. If you do want to join the Members Club, you can, I think you just click the $sign. It's only 99p. You get a badge next to your name, support the channel. Like, yeah, obviously any support is appreciated. If you're not in a position to support financially, that's obviously completely fine. I understand times are tough. Smash a like, subscribe. It doesn't cost you any money to do that, so make sure you do that. Alex says Poch is an awful manager. I mean, that's maybe a little bit harsh, but I'll say this. I don't think Poch is better than Erik ten Hag. I don't think he's awful, but I don't want him, if that makes sense. All right, let's have a look at how the poll's going. Let's have a look at this. Okay, so 30% of the people watching today's video want De Zerbi to become the new manager. 21% of you want Kieran McKenna. 26% of you want Poch. And 22% of you want Thomas Tuchel. My order would be this. I would go De Zerbi number 1. Kieran McKenna number 2. Thomas Tuchel number 3, and Poch number 4. That would be my preference. But I'll be honest with you guys, I don't want any of them. I don't think any of them are better than Erik ten Hag. I don't think any of their CVs, apart from Thomas Tuchel, is better than Erik ten Hag's. I don't think any of them will come and do a better job than Erik ten Hag. Maybe the only exception is Thomas Tuchel. I could imagine Thomas Tuchel coming in, us getting Champions League football next season, being told we'll win the league the next season, and then it all falling apart and him getting sacked. I imagine Thomas Tuchel would do well if he came in next season. I'm pretty confident of that. Whereas the rest of them, it's a 3-year project, it's a 4-year project, and we'll be sat here in like 2 or 3 years still battling for top 4, saying back the manager, it's a project, it's a process, blah, blah, blah. And then we'll sack him and we'll start the thing again. Like, if we were sat here this evening saying Ancelotti has left Real Madrid and he wants to come to Man United, I would be up for that, you know? I would be open to that. But that isn't the case. Or Zidane has been spotted in Manchester. He's been speaking with Ineos today and he's going to replace Erik ten Hag. It would be hard for me to not be positive about that because, you know, that is exciting. Whereas these names we're being linked to at the moment, just none of them are exciting. And I feel like that is... Someone's saying I'm muted. No, I don't think I am, mate. And I feel like that's the same across the whole fan base. You know, like most people seem to feel the same way about the managers that are linked to us. Somebody says, I agree. None of them are better than Erik ten Hag. I'm Back Baby says, Poch can't beat any of the top teams. Gregory says, at least it's not Gareth Southgate. And somebody else says it should be Zidane. Red Alert says, De Zerbi was a one-season wonder. Somebody else says, even if Ineos get rid of Erik ten Hag, the next manager will still require time. So why not give Erik ten Hag time? I agree with you, mate. I think this. I think Ineos see it as their own project. They see it as their thing. And they want their own manager who effectively can be their puppet. You know, they can sign him on their terms. They can give them as much or as little authority as they want. Whereas with Erik ten Hag, he's come in when the Glazers were here, signed a contract with the Glazers, been given way more authority than what Ineos want to give, which I get. So, yeah, it's a really, really difficult one. But you can let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. I will be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. as usual. If you have enjoyed today's video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, drop a comment. This has been Daily Red Devil. I'll speak to you all at 11 a.m. UK